I appreciate the time that all of you who are watching are taking today to find an investment opportunity that makes sense by making dollars. Lots of them, obviously. And I'll introduce you today to the reality of wealth care and health care, because it's good for you and for your family and everybody else. Because when health care and wealth care are done ethically and effectively, they go together when they give people what they need and what's good for them. Everybody knows people in pain. And it's anyone, it's everywhere, anywhere, it's anytime, it's everywhere, it's endless, and it doesn't stop. GoodFOR creates, manufactures, and sells near pharmaceutical grade pain relief, topicals, and oral tinctures. Now, people, how big is the market? People pay to stop their pain. It's over $100 billion and fast growing, unfortunately, USA market. It's a $1+ trillion global market, but our focus is more narrow. It's the $2.5 billion and very fast growing pain topical market. And pain is evergreen. It's acute. You fall down, you hurt yourself, you heal one way or another, slow or fast, or you have chronic pain, which lasts a long time, maybe your entire life. Our motivation started personally, healthcare and wealth care. It's very personal to me, the whole subject of pain, because in 2016, some people and several companies started to make a great deal of money from our family when my wife of more than a quarter century was diagnosed with metastatic stage 4 breast cancer and given just 6 months to live. So about 4 years ago today, about 60 months ago or so. Yet today she's the healthiest person I know. But we're not here today to talk about treating or curing cancer or death. We're here to talk about something that's arguably a lot worse. And that's a lifetime of pain and suffering and how to deal with that. Customers or anybody, children, elderly, everyone, no matter where we live, have one thing on our mind when in pain. Stop it, and stop it now. But how? What do you trust? Who do you trust? So you ask yourself, what's good for me and my family? Why should I believe you? You're a company, you're a person. But where can I get it now, if it's any good? GoodFOR is our registered trademark, and we're ready to demonstrate immediate benefits to investors. This is the team bringing gain to pain. These are our milestones. In 2019, we formed our company. We did something quite controversial. There's two choices when launching a CBD company in particular, which is to go out and just sell it, make all kinds of claims. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's good for you. Oh, it works fast. Oh, it does this. Oh, it's inexpensive, or it's expensive and exclusive. We chose not to take that method. We chose to prove everything first. So we did an extensive amount of product testing and market research. We began to register with the FDA and follow all the rules and regulations, because our attitude is this, and our commitment is, if we take you as an investor, if you join us, we're responsible to you in many financial, legal, but also ethical ways. So we need to know ourselves. We need to have the look in the mirror, come to Jesus, if you will, type of understanding among our executive team. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to accept other people's money? And the answer is yes. And as you can see from looking at this, we're taking a more scientific approach. Now, we are in revenue, so we know all about that. We also give a 100% happiness guarantee, which means if you try our product, whether it's our pain topicals or our oral products, and for any reason you don't like it, of course we want to know why, and we'll ask you why, but you don't have to answer. We'll give you all your money back, including tax. But that hasn't happened. Why? Our products are good for you. So this is why we can grow quickly. We have the best pain products. Now, best is one of those superlatives, sale puffery words that when someone says we're the best or we're number one or anything like that, you say, yeah, show, prove it. So here's my challenge to you. Don't even buy our product. Ask for a sample. We'll send it to you free. No postage. You don't pay anything. You don't sign a contract. You don't give us your credit card. You just let us know who you are and your physical address, and we'll send it to you. And at the end of this, I'll give you a URL where you can do that. Now, we also have a brand name that is, well, unique. No attorney thought we could get it because the words good and for, they're a little common. We all say good for every day in one way or another. And we were able to obtain this trademark, not only in one trademark class in the US, but in multiple and in multiple other countries, which helps us establish a global footprint. Because we think we can't say we know, we can't be arrogant, that GoodFOR, when placed in front of almost any healthcare need or consumer need, goods or service, can be very good for investors. And what we say is, don't even take our word for it, whether we're best, good, gooder, goodest. Try it yourself. You can go to our website, goodfor.us, not .com, and you can read almost 200 testimonials from people from around the world, mostly the United States and Canada, who have bought our products. These are from verified buyers. They're not family or friends. Well, some may be, but they bought the product. And this is how we've earned our great results. Proof, lots of proof, customer experiences, customer feedback validated that the product works, and our marketing claims even exceed their expectations. And look at the revenue results. We're not claiming we've sold $1 million worth of products. We're not. We haven't. We spent our time building a scalable foundation to grow a company as fast as possible because we can handle volume. We've had scientific and legal proof. Safety first, as always, not just one COA, which means a certificate of analysis from an independent third-party lab. But we also have competitive advantages. Now, if you see the word pain on a CBD product, it's probably illegal. It's probably not a legal claim, because to make a claim about pain, like a claim about anxiety or almost any medical condition, the FDA must review your materials. Doesn't mean they have investigated it, but they've reviewed it and they've approved it. Now, these are the products that we have for sale right now. Primarily the topicals. Good for pain, comes in two ways. An easy to go, very safe, contaminant-free airless pump, and then good for pain, grab and go. If you take one of these little packets, you run with it, never leave home without it, because you never know when you have pain and you've got to deal with it. We also have, for those who are new to CBD or new to hemp, a 100% USDA certified organic oil. We also, if you want to treat your pets nicely, we have great USDA certified pain oils as well. These are products that we've already formulated. We've done some beta testing. I won't tell you which ones my family and I have tried, but our executive team is quite happy with a number of these products. What are our competitive advantages? Well, we have a low, despite relatively low or modest production. Again, our emphasis has been on proving that everything works. Because when we say it's good for pain or good for stress or good for sleep, it darn well better be. We need to exceed your expectations, because over 42% of our revenue comes from word of mouth. So imagine you buying a product, saying it's great for your pain, and you give it to someone who you care about, or they buy it, and it doesn't work for them. You're going to feel bad. We don't want that to happen. So you can see our various advantages. We have DTC is direct to consumer. So we sell currently one place, GoodFOR.us. Soon it'll be wholesale many places, primarily online. We have a clinical trial coming up starting in about a week and a half. And that will prove, like the Pepsi Coke test, challenge of the last century, we will prove that we have superior efficacy, works faster, lasts longer, does not interfere with any pharmaceuticals you may be taking. We have an experienced team. We work very well together. Our design, judge for yourself. Does this stand out? Now, it's not just red for pain. We use some other primary colors, but pain is best described or reflected in red. We don't let the creative art get in the way of the customer finding us. And when the customer finds us, they use us. Financial pro forma. Now, this is our best judgment, our best estimate. We can't guarantee these numbers. We'd be foolish and a fraud if we did. But when you examine what we're going through and what we've already spent money on developing, you'll see that this is a very conservative model. Our expectation, not our promise, is that we will be purchased in the year 2022 or 2023 for many reasons, primarily our intellectual property, both our brand and our formulations. Success. How are we going to succeed? How are we going to grow and exceed expectations just in a couple months? We have a very strong direct-to-consumer e-commerce model. We have many specifics happening. We have just partnered with therunexperience.com, which is the largest running organization in the world. They have more videos on YouTube than anybody else. They have two other small corporate sponsors, a company called Nike, a company called Bose, and GoodFOR. They were pitched by just about every CBD company you can think of. Because when you're running, if you're in pain, you don't run. And you can apply that to virtually any fitness or any sport or any competition or recreation. And we have GoodFOR ambassadors. We have targeted email marketing. But where the real money, the real growth comes in, the wealth care, if you will, is in January, which begins right the first week of January. And you can see the type of retailers, online primarily, that our sales team has targeted. Your investment. It's not equity. It's a promissory note. It's debt. We're raising $250,000 now, more later, but at a much higher valuation and less of a discount. Be a good deal. Won't be nearly as good as now. And you can see the specific terms. $25,000 is the minimum investment. And there's a convertible discount. So later on, when other people are paying $1 for equity, you're paying 80 cents. And then the added benefit. And this is just a freebie, a gimme. You can practically buy anything we have at below wholesale. Why? You'll be a great ambassador for us. Here's how we're going to use our funds. Primarily marketing. Now, it sounds overly simple to say just add money and we'll grow. Because if you don't have smart management, you don't grow. You become a zombie company or you go out of business. That's not us. We are all dedicated. We are all in. Our website can handle huge loads. We automate and integrate our software so we know where leads are coming from, sales, and opportunities. This is further proof of our intellectual property. These are not pending trademarks. These are granted. And we have others that are from other countries. This is how you can reach us. GoodFOR.us, not .com, because we're all in this together. And if you want to stop your pain and gain, talk with us. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jeff. As we have some questions coming in, I saw some in the chats. There's some people asking for samples already. So if you
go
out that you wanted to have samples, in the registration. Hopefully you've checked that box. If
yes,
not,
I will put it up there very shortly. But if you go to goodfor.us, you won't see the sample request, but I will send that to you. In the meantime, I'll give you my email and you can write me that way. It's simply Jeff, Jeff, at goodfor.us. And we'll send it out tomorrow morning.
Excellent. So we have here also from Paul Bergman, and he actually works with you. So Paul Bergman is a medical doctor. He is an expert in Denver. He's medical director and educator at GoodFOR. So if you have other questions, he is letting us know that you can also contact Paul. Paul, if you just put that in the chat so everyone can see that, and everyone can see your contact info. Again, if you also want to meet with any of the presenters here today, including Jeff, we will have the networking. I'm going to be putting the link soon into the chat so you can join us in the networking. There'll be breakout sessions where you'll be able to network with the companies that presented here today. You'll have an opportunity to ask more questions and meet with them personally. And we also have the poll up that we've asked about how we're doing. And if you can continue to answer the questions on that poll, we're going to have another poll where you get to be judge. Our poll will go up in just a minute here, where you get to be judge about who delivered the best pitch today. I talked about that earlier in the introduction, that there isn't a prize for best pitch, but it is a sense of pride. It's also a sense of validation to the companies that presented here today. So I hope that you'll vote there. The panelists aren't allowed to vote, so they don't actually get to vote for themselves. It'll be up to you, the audience, the attendees, and you'll be the ones telling us who did the best job here today. And we'll give them that feedback as well. So I'm going to keep that poll open. Let's have a couple of more questions here I'm looking at some of the questions that came in. Jeff, how do you see your product? How will it shape the market in the next 5 years?
Well, it'll be good for everybody. The most important thing, wealth comes from exceeding expectations. You know, I once had a company called Great Expectations, video dating. I helped more single people meet, date, and marry than anybody in the world, by far. So I understand what's in people's hearts, but when you're in pain, it takes all your attention. And the people who love you, who surround you, whether it's at home, your friends, your clubs, your work, they feel it too. So GoodFOR pain products, they prove themselves. It either works for you, it's either good for you, or it's not. So this is an easy, fast demonstration. And when people try samples, they have no further obligation. They can't promise that one application will stop them from hurting. Plus, when you put GoodFOR in front of just about anything, a product or a service, the customer understands what to expect. And when there's a money-back guarantee, no goofing around, well, that helps establish integrity and trust. We're all about trust and efficiency, effectiveness. We do not want you or your family to suffer. So that is why we have such a high word-of-mouth referral rate.
Excellent, Jeff. There's a question came in. I remind you, if you have a question, there's the Q&A at the bottom of your app in Zoom. You can use that. That's how we see your questions. I'm scanning the chat as well, and I see a question in the chat. Question, Jeff, is...
Pardon me, I also put the URL for samples to everybody, panelists and attendees.
Thank you, Jeff. The question here, Jeff, is do you plan to sell any edible or beverage products once the FDA loosens some of their restrictions?
No, not right now. Let other people do that. Our focus is on pain, physical pain, and psychological and emotional pain. How many people can't sleep? Or they can't get to sleep or can't fall back to sleep? we've got a product for that. How about stress? You think that might cause pain? Of course. Sex, that causes pain, creates pleasure too. We have that as well. We also have we will have GoodFOR arthritis, which is specifically for joints. We will have a pain topical for the face. So it won't have the same ingredients. It won't have too much menthol. Incidentally, when people smell or look at a product, their assumption is oftentimes not correct. Oh, it's a Bengay product or a Tiger Balm or one of those menthol products. Nope. That's just one of quite a few of 26 different ingredients. All of them are organically derived synthetics.
Excellent. So I'm going to end this survey that we have now. I would encourage you, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to complete the survey poll before I launch the best presentation poll. So I'll give you 1 more minute to have your chance to answer the questions in there so that I can end that. So if you haven't had a chance to get your answers in the survey, please do so now as you're an attendee. I'm going to also be putting right now the link to, don't leave yet, but I'm going to be putting the link to the meeting, which will be our network meeting that's following this. I'm still scanning for questions for Jeff. And as I'm doing that, the networking meeting, I'm going to be putting that in the link to that. Jeff, is there something else that you wanted to mention to the audience? Let's talk about pain. It's a pretty big market, isn't it? Isn't pain a pretty large?
The pain market, as I indicated, is a multi-trillion-dollar a year global market. It's a $100 billion plus USA market. But our focus is on a fraction of it, which is multi-billion. It's 2.5 billion now and growing. And I will say this, that our product has CBD in it. It also has 500 other cannabinoid, flavonoid, terpenoid elements in it. It's not a CBD product. It has it in it. It's not the active ingredients. So our claims are not about CBD. No CBD product other than one approved by the FDA for specific types of rare forms of epilepsy. None of them can make claims about pain or diseases unless they apply through the FDA.